Before we start this video, let me explain. It's my 22nd birthday, so my mom came to visit in Tampa, and she obviously knows about Next Gen Poker, but she's never played poker at this point. As a birthday gift, I asked her, hey, come play with me at a casino. I want to be there for your first time, and we got it all on the vlog. That's what we're doing today. So on the way to the poker room, we were explaining to her the rules. Before the cards come out, if you bet 6 and I raise to 20, it's back to you, whether you want to fold
or call
in the hand. Call means you're gonna go see the flop, which is 3 cards,
right?
Or you could re-raise,
right?
So you can put 100 in, and now it's back to him to either call, fold,
right,
or raise again.
Okay.
You have pocket jacks, and you are on the button. So let's say someone in earlier position before you raises it up to $10.
Yeah.
It's onto you on the button. You haven't put in any money yet, and you have $200 in front of you. What would you do?
My pocket jacks, I might go 45.
45?
Yeah.
Okay, love it. Yeah. We're back, day 3 in Tampa, our last day. Frankie's birthday was a blast. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, brother. So fun. We've got a special guest today. It's my mom. We're at the poker room. I'm playing poker today for the first time with my mom. She's been an amazing influence and has supported the gambling journey so far. It's her first time at a casino, right? First time ever playing poker
at a casino.
And we played for one $5 game as preparation.
We taught her everything we know. She's in good hands.
I'm ready to go. Let's go, boys.
She's lucky.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Next Gen Show. For those who do not know,
Enough intros, let's go down the escalator to the Seminole Hard Rock poker room. Let's get started. I swear I have the craziest first hands. I'm in the big blind, my very first hand with ace king offsuit. There's a button straddle. I make it $20 to go. We see a call from middle position and we see a call from the button straddler. The flop comes ace 5-8 rainbow. Perfect flop. They both check to me. I bet big here. I bet $50 and the small blind puts all of his chips in the middle immediately. $145 jam. Other player folds back to me. I snap call. The turn and river are both 4s. I flip over ace king and he has ace queen offsuit. We take home a big pot to get us started. Let's see how my mom's first hand went. For her first hand, it looks like she's got pocket 10s and she's calling a bet of $20 from the cutoff player and she's in the big blind. So they're heads up, mano y mano to a flop. 4-5 king is the board. She checks and the other guy checks. The turn is the 6 of hearts. She's probably not liking that king out there. She checks again. And again, the opponent checks. The river is the beautiful 10 of clubs. My mom knows that she has a great hand, a set, and she bets $60 over pot, bets it. That's definitely going to scare him off. He folds and she takes down her first hand of the night.
Nice hand.
While Frankie's mom is over there tearing it up, we look down at a pretty solid hand, our very first rotation. Pocket kings, the Cowboys in the cutoff. Under the gun opens at the $7. He gets a call from +1, +2, and middle position. I go ahead and 3-bet here, pretty large of $50. And now the button cold calls, the small blind calls, and that invites +2 to come along as well, and everyone else folds. We're going to a flop 4 ways. I can already tell this is going to be an action table. Ready to buckle up, and it comes ace, ace, queen, rainbow. Checks to me, and I decide to check this one back. I feel like it's very likely that someone could have an ace in their hands. The turn brings the 8 of hearts. There's now a heart flush draw out there, and it checks to me again. Again, I feel like someone still could be slow playing an ace. I'm not really scared of too many river cards because I have the king of hearts. I check this one, the button checks behind me, and the river brings the jack of hearts. The heart draw now completes. We lose to pocket jacks. We lose to any ace. It checks me again, and my mind kind of blanked here. I could probably just check this one down and get the showdown, but I felt like that might have been a little too nitty, so I bet out $25 here, hoping to get called by maybe an 8 or a jack. However, the button now has some news for me and raises to $95. I'm not sure what's going on here. When it folds around to me, I think about it for a while and just let my hand go. There's too much that beats me. As a joke, I tell him nice bluff. He tells me no bluff here, sir, and flips over 3-6 of hearts, an absolute premium hand. He cold called on the button, so I'm excited to play some pots with him. However, unfortunately, he quickly racks up and moves over to the better game, Omaha.
We have a very unusual hand for you guys. I looked down at pocket sevens in the cutoff. We've seen open under the gun to $20, which is the standard size of this table, although it's very large for 1-2 game. Middle position calls. I call as well with an excellent drawing hand. The small blind makes the call and the big blind makes the call. Flop comes 9-7-5 rainbow. We smash it, and let me tell you why this is an interesting hand. And this time, the big blind leads out for $23, which means a lot of strength. Instead of raising, because I only am scared of a 6 and an 8, I just make the call, trying to hope that other players stay in the pot. And we do see the small blind make the call as well. And this guy, his name is Robbie, aka the Bull. He's a pro player and a local regular. So knowing that, we're going to go to a turn card, which is the ace of spades, and the Bull leads out for $60. Now the big blind player folds, and we initially pegged him as strong. Now I think about raising here, but I'm not necessarily protecting against that many hands. So instead of raising right now, I decide to just call and assess a river. The river comes one of those gross cards, the 6 of diamonds.
200.
He said 200.
Facing this very large bet, I think I pick up a little bit of a tell, or what I think is a tell, as he bet very quickly. This resembles to me that he's probably going to be bluffing, because his card does change the board quite significantly, so I would have to think about it before I put in a big $200 bet, unless I had 5 high. With the set, I also struggle to fold, so I put my chips in the middle, and he shows 4-5 of spades for a very natural bluff. We get one past the Bull. It turns out not raising the turn or the flop got us some extra value.
We pick up King 10 of diamonds in middle position. There's 2 limps to me, and I open it to $15. The cutoff makes a call, and one of the limpers calls off to a flop. It comes 4-6 king with 2 clubs and a diamond. When it checks to me, I'm betting here most of the time, but I decide to check this one as kind of a slow play, invite someone to possibly bluff, and the cutoff bet's $30. The limper folds, and I make the call. The turn is a nice one, the king of diamonds. There's 2 flush draws out there. This is a card I could consider leading on. However, I check it and flow to him, and he checks it back. The river brings a 5 of clubs. The flush draw completes, and I don't want to let this one go check on the river. I decide to bet out $35, pretty small, hoping to get called by a 6. He thinks about it and calls pretty quickly. I show him the bad news, and he shows me pocket aces. Ouch, I definitely missed out on plenty of value here. I could have led turn, and I also could have bet bigger on the river. I didn't think he would have this strong of a hand, but we crack aces, and we are hoping to run it up again today.
The action in the next hand for my mom starts on the turn, but she called a bet of $15 pre-flop with pocket 6s. There are 3 ways to a board of 5-7 jack, 2 hearts on the flop, and it actually checks around. The turn is the 6 of diamonds, pairing the board for my mom, giving her a set, and she bets $25. I love that she knows that she needs to bet to make money on these strong hands she has. And we see 2 calls, one from the Bull and one from the button. The river is such a good card, the 5 of spades. She has a full house, and watch what happens.
50. You can't string bet. So when you put it out,
Sorry about that.
once it becomes in front of your cards, that becomes a part of a bet.
Yep.
You can't go back. Bet is going to be 50.
Perfect.
Very typical mistake to make at your first time playing poker. She tried to string bet. That's not allowed. You only can bet what you put in on the middle at the very beginning, which was $50, and both players fold, but she's chipping up. I love to see it. For this hand, there are a ton of limps, including my mom on the button who limps. I look down at king queen of clubs. I got a raise. Sorry, mom. I make it $21 to go. We see a call from the Bull in the big blind, and the middle position player calls. Everyone else folds, so we're going 3 ways to a flop in a pretty big pot already. Flop comes 8-8-9 rainbow. 1 club in there, it checks to me. I'm going to be down betting all of my over pairs here, so I do put in a small bet hoping to take it down to $25, but this time they both make the call. Going off to a turn card, which is a 3, doesn't change anything at all. Checks to me. I decide to bet $60 as a bluff, a double barrel, thinking that they could be calling the flop light, floating light. But that's not true, as the big blind and then the middle position player again both make the call. The river is a jack, and it checks to me again. Should I try to bluff? I don't think this is the best time to do so, although I would have loved to see it as I check. and the bull shows pocket tens, and that is the winner. So we could have got him to fold if we unloaded a third clip. Oh well, I would have loved to see a triple barrel there, but we'll hold off to the next time.
Although I don't agree with under the gun straddles, and I almost never do it unless I'm really trying to gamble that day, I love the button straddles. Let me know what you guys think about those in the comments. I think it's such an overpowered play getting to act last both pre-flop and post-flop. When I'm on the button, I'm going to do it every single time. I put out that $5 button straddle. We're dealt king jack offsuit. There's 3 limps and the cutoff raises it up to $25. I make the call, the small blind makes a call, and all 3 limpers call. Off to a flop 6 ways. It comes king, 10, 9, 2 clubs and a spade. We do have the king of spades. Under the gun now, donk leads for $50. Really weird lead considering this board isn't going to connect with him a whole bunch as one of the limpers. It folds all the way around to me and I am the only one that makes a call. I got top pair with the gutter. Turn brings the 9 of spades and under the gun leads out very quickly again for $100. I look over to him and I see that Pinocchio nose start to grow. I don't believe him. I make the call for $100, assess a river, and it's the deuce of diamonds. He snap checks it to me, and I'm happy to take this to showdown and check it back. He shows me queen 8 of clubs, so he did have that combo draw, flush draw, and the straight draw. I show him king jack, and we take this pot down.
The next hand, I've got ace queen suited in the cutoff. I make a bet to $10. The button calls, small blind, and the big blind calls. So all the remaining players come along for a 4-way pot, which comes 10, 5, 4, 2 spades. Checks to me, I bet $30, and the guy to our left is a vlog watcher and a friend. The button jams it all in for $110. Let's go off to the bull camera, see what he's up to.
Recording this shit? Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah, he's about to re-show me. Hey vlog,
I'm not.
Hey vlog, I'll fold.
As he folds, he predicts that I'm gonna re-rip it all in, and that's not what I'm doing because everyone else folds, so it's just to me. I make the call here. $110 total. The turn is very pretty. It's the ace of diamonds. We got top pair, and the river is the 2 of spades. We get there for the nuts, flip it over, and we are good. Unfortunate it was against a friend and fellow vlog watcher, but we're happy to take home the chips.
Next hand for me, we got queen 10 offsuit in the hijack. Under the gun opens at the $13. I make the call, and the cutoff calls as well. Flop is 7, 8, 9 with 2 spades. When it checks to me from the initial aggressor, I take the betting lead here with the open-ended straight draw and bet $10. The cutoff makes a call, and the under the gun player calls as well. Turn brings the queen of spades. We now have top pair along with our draw. When it checks me again, I bet $20, and the cutoff rips it all in. $58 total dollars. He was short stacked. It folds to me, and I think if he was deeper, I would probably find a fold here, simply because most places tend to play a bit tighter than Texas. I think I can call a lot of times in Texas here, but I actually have to think about this one. Even though it's only $38 more, I could be drawing dead if he's got that flush. However, it's only $38 more to call. We've got top pair and open ender. I make the call, and the river brings a 6 of diamonds. We drill the straight. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm about to flip over my hand until the cutoff shows me 10, 7 of spades. He flopped the world with a pair and an open-ended straight flush draw. Turned the flush, and I was kind enough, found it from the bottom of my heart to double him up this session.
Get ready for the best hand of the night. We see my mom bet $10. I don't know what she has. The button makes the call, the small blind calls, and now there's a straddle on, and the under the gun straddler re-raises to $35. I'm sitting to the left of my mom, and I see her put more chips in the middle. She calls, button calls, and small blind calls. I ask her to show the camera. She has kings. The flop. Oh my gosh, it comes king 4-7 rainbow. She has top set. I am sweating. We see under the gun bet $70. And here she stacks up the chips and she makes a call. She slow plays her set. The other 2 players fold. The turn is the 9 of hearts, and he bets $170. You could see how much money she has as she's stacking up the chips. She knows she cannot fold 3 of a kind. This is her 3rd set of the day that I've watched. I cannot believe my eyes. She puts in the call. Before the river comes out, he checks, and my mom, well, she snap checks the basic nuts behind, and it's alright. She only had $30 left. He shows ace jack of hearts for the busted flush draw, and she shows the nuts pocket kings set, and she takes home a massive pot. Let's go, mom.
Thank you very, very much.
Next one's a fun one. We got the Cowboys, pocket kings. There's a $5 button straddle. The small blind makes a call. I'm in the big blind. I raise it up to $20. +2 makes a call. everyone else folds. The flop is rainbow 7-7-3. I slow play and check. He bets $20 and I make the smooth call, hoping he continues to barrel. The turn is another 3, double pairing the board. I check to him and he checks it right on back. The river's an interesting one. It's the third 7. Now there's a full house on the board. He's only got about $70 left, so I put him to the test for all his chips and he goes into the tank. He tells me he has pocket 10s. Honestly, I think this is just a cooler, especially considering how shallow his stack was. However, I guess he really believes me. After talking to himself for quite a while, he talks himself into the call and I flip over the bad news. Unfortunately, stacking this guy. Nice hand to this guy, and hopefully we can keep running it up.
Okay, before we start this hand, let me tell you, the bull just tilted some player who had just had to rebuy, so
You're gonna earn every
After
check.
midnight.
he's opening up this hand after there's a under the gun straddle to 5. He opens it up to $15. It looks like he's been opening it up pretty wide since he lost his pot, and we look down at ace jack offsuit in the small blind. I usually just make a lot of 3 bets in the small blind, and this hand likes to go heads up, and I know the bull's probably going to call and the straddle's probably going to call, so I decide to 3 bet here with a polar range as a bluff with ace jack offsuit. I make it $60 to go, and it could be for value against guys calling with ace 10 and worse, so it does go both ways. We see folds from everyone else, and the under the gun initial aggressor makes the call, going off to a flop heads up, which comes jack 6-4 rainbow. We flop top. Here's a board I completely would be betting with my premium top pair, but I decide to check to try to get this player to bluff, try to cause him to tilt off some more money. And when I do check, he does bet. He goes $50 on this flop, and I just make the call. The turn is an 8, brings in a 2 spades. I check again, and this time he bets $120. With not much more in my stack, I got about $170 left in my stack. I think about going all in, but I just make the call because I want to keep his bluffs in, right? The river comes an ace. We have top 2 pair. I don't want to risk checking here and having him check back a worse hand, so I rip it all in for that remaining $175. And unfortunately, this guy snap calls with pocket 6s. He flopped a set. Very hard when he calls $60 pre with pocket 6s. Oh well, we lose all of our profit for the night.
Final hand for me, we move over to another table to meet up with a fan and play with him for a bit. We've got ace 8 of spades in the big blind. There's 2 limps and the button opens it up to $15. I make the call and both limpers fold. Off to flop and it comes jack 8-8 with 2 diamonds and a heart. We drill trips with top kicker. I check and the button bets $10. I don't want her to fold this hand, so I just make the call. Turn is the 7 of hearts. There's now 2 flush draws out there. I check to her again and she checks this one right back. Assuming I have the best hand going into the river, it's a 9 of clubs. Although there's a 4-liner out there, I think there's definitely value to be had. Hoping to get value from a jack or an overpair. I bet $30. She's not fazed by that bet and she raises me up to $90. This is a pretty annoying spot, but I think it's always just a fold. I let my hand go and she shows me pocket jacks. That turn and river were savior cards for me. Thank God the board got juicier and juicier and I was able to get away from this one super cheap.
I wouldn't be telling the whole story right if I didn't show some hands where my mom didn't play exactly GTO optimal. She made some mistakes calling down boards with bottom pair even though the board was super dynamic. Here you see she has pocket kings on a flop of 4-7 jack. So the turn was another jack, and after betting the flop and betting $30 on the turn, she got raised to an all-in amount of $150. Here with an overpair, she makes the call, and unfortunately the other person has trip jacks. Typical, it happens in poker. You do not go to poker room for the first time expecting to make money, but my mom did. I cannot believe it. She runs very well. Let's see how much she cashed out for.
I lost $150 at the end,
Okay,
and I had 2 pairs.
so how much you in for? 500? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Profit, baby. $6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $7 profit, her first time playing. Wrapping up here, mom cashed out. I'm gonna play a little longer with this man. And mom, how's your first time?
Oh wow, I had a great time. Fun sitting next to you. Hated taking a little of your money.
Do we love poker?
We love poker.
Okay, good luck.
Next gen.
She killed it.
Pull-up competition. Frankie versus Jello. We're gonna go at the same time.
Let's see what happens.
Looking big.
Competition is obvious. Whoever does most reps wins.
Bluffing over. Let's go.
Frankie's taking this one.
Just wrapped up the trip in Tampa on the way back to Dallas right now. It was a blast. I was in the first game for 300, out for 600, so not too bad of a day today.
Made most of the profit yesterday. Made $450. Lost like $10 today, but very fun session. Total up $500.
Like,
Subscribe.
comment.
Peace.